Welcome back to the channel, fellow crime enthusiasts. If you're as fascinated as I am by the intricate, often dark psychology that drives human behavior, well, you are definitely in the right place. Be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for our daily crime updates, because we examine cases straight from the source to uncover the truth. Today, we're jumping right into a highly disturbing video about a dark, suspenseful case out of Mumbai. And it's one of those cases that proves sometimes the absolute most dangerous place you can be is just sitting right inside a friend's living room. Okay, let's dive into this. Picture the scene. It's a typical Wednesday night. Now, on the surface, this might look like your standard, casual gathering to just unwind midweek. We've got 3 people sitting together in one room, a husband, his wife, and a male guest. The drinks are flowing, but the reality inside that enclosed space, it was suffocating. These were absolutely not 3 friends catching up. This was a husband, his wife, and the man he strongly suspected of being her lover. The psychological tension in that room must have been like dynamite, literally just waiting for a spark. And as we'll see from the official police reports, that spark was about to ignite a truly deadly outcome. Part 1. The setup. A deceptive gathering in Goregaon. Now, to really grasp how this horrific event unfolded, we have to ground ourselves in this setting. This gathering took place at a residence in Goregaon, right up against the vast, shadowy expanse of the RA forest. Inside that home, it was all smoke and mirrors. On the surface, you have this facade, right? Pouring drinks, sharing space, partaking in what usually signifies friendship. But beneath that, a volatile, undeniable reality. The host wasn't pouring a drink for a buddy. He was pouring a drink for a man who was totally shrouded in suspicion and harassment allegations. It was a calculated setup, expertly draped in the guise of hospitality. So let's look at this from a criminal investigator's perspective to really understand the motive here. Our key figures are the 48-year-old husband, Bhimraj Om Prakash Sharma, and the victim, Vikas Ashok Busare. According to the investigation, this crime was built on 3 main pillars of conflict. First off, Sharma deeply suspected Busare of having an illicit affair with his wife. Second, this wasn't just some quiet, lingering suspicion. Police found documented accounts where Busare had actively been accused of harassing Sharma's wife in the past. And third, the ultimate trigger. Despite these accusations, and despite repeated, explicit warnings from the husband, Busare just kept meeting with her. It was a literal pressure cooker of jealousy, protective anger, and defiance. Part 2. The breaking point. Drinks turn deadly. From an investigative standpoint, alcohol was absolutely the catalyst here. It's a known disinhibitor, right? It strips away rationale and just amplifies raw emotion. When we map this out chronologically, we can see exactly how fast things escalated from quiet suspicion to a high-stakes confrontation. Step 1. The calculated invitation. A deliberate move by Sharma to bring his rival into his own territory. Step 2. Consuming the alcohol, which lowered everyone's defenses and raised tempers. Step 3. The tension hits its peak with a final, chilling verbal warning from the husband. And finally, the murder itself. This wasn't some sudden, random home invasion. No, it was a slow, deliberate march toward tragedy, step by agonizing step. Now, what's really interesting about this next piece of information is how perfectly it captures the terrifying speed of this escalation. An officer at the Erie station noted, and I quote, "Sharma then warned Busa not to meet his wife again. Moments later." End quote. I mean, really think about that phrase for a second. Moments later. This wasn't a heated argument where one guy stormed out to cool off. The gap between that final verbal warning and lethal, irreversible violence was merely seconds. The psychological snap was instantaneous. Those few brief seconds culminated in an absolutely horrific reality. Sharma produced a kitchen knife, which, by the way, was later recovered at the scene as the primary piece of key evidence, and he allegedly slit Vikas Ashok Busare's throat. Just stating the objective facts of this case is staggering enough, but the detail that really elevates this to pure nightmare fuel, he did this right in front of his wife. She sat in that exact same room, trapped in that enclosed space, and was forced to witness the brutal execution of the man her husband suspected she was having an affair with. It is just a stark, gruesome display of ultimate control and vengeance. Part 3. The RA forest chase, fleeing the scene. As you can imagine, the immediate aftermath of a crime like this is just pure chaos. The moment that alcohol haze broke, a massive spike of adrenaline completely took over. Sharma instantly transformed from this violent host into a desperate fugitive. Leaving the bloody scene and his deeply traumatized wife behind, he bolted straight out the door and into the pitch-black, dense foliage of the airy forest. That brings us to step 2. A massive manhunt is immediately initiated. Picture this: police officers navigating that incredibly challenging, shadowy forest environment in the dead of night, trying to track down a desperate armed suspect. And finally, step 3. After a really tense physical chase through the woods, the suspect was cornered and apprehended. 3 hours. That is the exact amount of time it took from the moment Sharma fled into that dark canopy to the moment police finally slapped the cuffs on him. 3 hours of a high-stakes, adrenaline-fueled manhunt in the dead of night. It really highlights the rapid mobilization by law enforcement to make sure a man capable of such extreme violence didn't remain a public threat for long. Justice in this instance was exceptionally swift, and it had to be because news of this brutal crime spread fast, sparking outrage and public protest from the local community, with intense demands for justice as the sheer gravity of what happened set in. So that brings us to the core question of today's video. How quickly can a seemingly controlled confrontation turn into an unstoppable tragedy? I mean, we started with a simple invitation for drinks, and in just a matter of hours, it ended with a slit throat and a desperate manhunt through a dark forest. It's a pretty grim reminder of how volatile human emotions like jealousy and possessiveness truly are. Thank you so much for joining me today, fellow crime enthusiasts. If you found this case breakdown insightful, please make sure to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments down below. Until tomorrow, stay safe out there and keep searching for the truth.